Get her done, heck yeah!
He is very comfortable here. He's been here so much, it's like his second home.
The most arrested man in Sacramento, heck yeah! Gotta be proud of something.
The sobering cell was occupied by the man who has probably spent more time in it than anyone else over the past 20 years.
Well, I'll be back by the weekend.
Chris LaForce was arrested for public intoxication. His latest probation violation on top of dozens of prior violations and convictions related to drugs or alcohol.
His arrests are well over 1,000 arrests for our county. Every time he gets brought in, he's very vocal, very loud.
Heck yeah!
Very intoxicated. He knows most of us by name.
He is very comfortable here. He's been here so much, it's like his second home. He's homeless out on the streets, so this is almost better than what he's got when he's out.
Sounds like right on.
Out on the streets, he's known for drunken public, lighting things on fire, sometimes being combative, meth use, drug use, alcohol use. But he knows that when he does that, he comes here and he has a place to sleep, a place to eat.
It's kind of a drag on how our system actually works, knowing that we're going to arrest the same person with the same charges over 1,000 times. Other than that, obviously bring him here, keeps him off the street, away from the public, so that's the good part of it.
LaForce remembers the day one of his arrests made the local newspaper.
That was in 856 arrests. The metro section of the Sacramento Bee mentioned my name 5 times. Heck yeah, they said you got her done. The most arrested man in Sacramento, heck yeah. Gotta be proud of something.
LaForce has been homeless for nearly as long as his arrest record is old. His hundreds of mugshots represent convictions for crimes including petty theft, possession of ammunition, possession of a controlled substance, trespassing, illegal camping, loitering with intent to buy drugs, and most recently, arson, a felony conviction for which he is still on probation.
What's that on fire?
Box of trash, piece of wood, some gasoline and rubbing alcohol. I quit drinking rubbing alcohol, started catching on fire, and it goes boom.
Generally, people arrested that many times it's a lot of drunken public. The judges can sentence them to county jail. They can mandate that they take classes. They can put them into treatment facilities in the streets.
One option for Sacramento County judges is called the Serial Inebriate Program. Sponsored by a medical center and other local agencies, it provides a 90-day inpatient alcohol detox and rehab program, specifically aimed at inmates like LaForce, homeless men and women with an extraordinary number of arrests. LaForce has left that program, as well as other programs, several times now.
Well, I couldn't do the program. I had to get out. I was in the rehab, shaking real bad. I said, yes, I'm going to get a beer now. Because, you believe me, my alcohol.
He's a drain on resources, from getting arrested to medical staff talking to him or dealing with him, the courts dealing with him, and he has no intention of stopping.
Get her done. That's Officer Dog.
Mr. LaForce.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Yes, I know it's only been about 5 days, but, you know, rehab didn't work, so I had to come on back.
You don't try rehab, that's why. He comes in, we still interview him the same way we do every single time, even though we know what he's going to say.
Yes.
You thoughts about wanting to kill yourself?
Heck no.
Need protective custody for any reason?
Not at all.
No gang association, no enemies?
No, I'm enemies.
Okay, we're done. You got court tomorrow at 1:30.
Okay, I think they're going to let me go.
It's up to the judge. The judge is tired of seeing him.
The judge? Which one?
I don't know, all of them. Thanks for coming back.
Okay, that was the interview?
That's it for me.
Get her done, heck yeah!
He enjoys what he does, and he'll tell you he likes it. He likes coming here, he likes seeing everybody, does his thing, leaves, and again, I'll see you next week.
Getting tired of coming to jail?
No, I actually love it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's home.
Oh, this place home?
Yeah, that's where I get my mail. It's been a long, winding road, but it's not winding down anytime soon.
It gets a little frustrating because the expense is all in the county for his, whatever he needs, his housing and clothing and feeding and transporting him to and from courts. It's all expenses that are accrued by the county.
Kind of like you want in jail. It keeps me warm. It keeps me off the streets when it's raining out there. They feed me 3 meals a day. They're all hot. And the food's not bad.
We have a Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous classes. Christopher LaForce doesn't want them. He's perfectly happy where he's at, doing what he's doing, but they are offered halfway type houses they can go to, social workers on the streets to see if they want those resources. But he goes to the same areas, the same street corners, bumming money and yelling at people, and sometimes he's drunk within hours of being out.
Nobody's happy about being here, but inmate LaForce, he likes to live it like he's happy. He likes to have fun. He likes to enjoy it. And if people dislike being here and they're sad or depressed about it, they'd get annoyed, and it could cause an issue.
4,000 men and women sleep on steel bunks with thin mattresses. For many of them, that's an improvement compared to their living conditions on the outside. They were at one time or another among the approximately 2,500 Sacramento area homeless.
I pretty much surrendered myself, you know. I wasn't really arrested, I was saved. Because I was homeless when I got arrested.
I started living in an abandoned building. I had a couple blankets, and there was a chair out there, and I'd fall asleep sitting up in the chair all the time. And I was always on foot. My feet were always killing me. I always had blisters.
You know, I was homeless out there, so I didn't really have a spot to be, so top that was getting high, so.
Now, this is what I call better than homemade, too.
I feel like I'm a bum, but a lot of the people like helping me out, holding the sign out and seeing the people looking past me and shaking their head going, no, not today. You're just gonna go drink it up with it.
Chris LaForce says he has been chronically homeless for the past 20 years.
And then there's the people that drive by and say, Jesus loves you, Chris. And the kids are all waving to me, and that's kind of cool. I like that part. It just makes me feel good, you know. Just talking to them or having a pretty girl just smile at me is better than getting any money, you know.
LaForce is back in jail for violating probation on his earlier conviction of arson. He hopes the forced sobriety will help him reconnect with his mother, who he says he hasn't seen in 16 years.
Just found out she's in Reno. I talked to her a couple of times, but not too much. If I knew I would get out of here, get on the bus, go see my mom right away, no stops in between anywhere, I would not drink. But I'm gonna be on the streets for a few days before I go see my mom.
You can't be on the streets without drinking?
But not at all. I'm an alcoholic, straight up, full-blown, full-blooded alcoholic. Get her done, yeah!
When LaForce first arrived, he nearly got into a fight with his assigned cellmate.
Go run another lap.
Now he's housed with an old friend from the street who knows all about LaForce and his many arrests.
My little buddy right there, 1,800 and how many?
1,087.
Yeah, that's a lot of wrong choices. But he's still not a bad dude.
LaForce's friend has a distinction of his own. He only goes by his last name, Clayton, because his first name is an unpronounceable string of capital letters.
My first name is an acronym. It's the first initial of all my brothers and sisters. D is for Dwayne, A is for Adrian, C is for Charlene, J is for Joyce, R is for Rana, D is for Dana. My father wanted a junior, so my mother named me after everyone. And a lot of times people try to make it a name. They try and say, well, how do you pronounce it? You can't pronounce it. It's not a name.
Clayton is serving a 90-day sentence for violating his parole on an earlier conviction for possession of methamphetamine. He has witnessed LaForce's revolving door relationship with the jail and recalls the time he returned, even before leaving the premises.
The quickest is when you sat in front of that door. He said he did not want to go.
I was detoxing real bad.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave, and he needed help. And he didn't know where to go get the help from.
So I went and I sat in front of the jail. I had nowhere to go. It was raining. I just said, take me back to jail. I don't want to go.
He blocked the door where the officers go in to take you for booking until they came and arrested him. And he was back, like, within 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that, you know. He's like, I'm back. Yeah, you are. Your bunk's still open. I've known him for, what, about 15, 20 years?
Really good 15 years.
You know, I've run into him on the street a lot.
Gives me shoes when I ain't got shoes. He always gives me something to eat.
Yeah, you know, Caught him on the light rail one day. I went shopping for me and my nephew, bought some brand new shoes. He jumped on the light rail, no shoes, no coat,
Say,
it's
here you go,
raining. He's not a bad guy. He needs a little help just like all of us.
Like LaForce, Clayton has also experienced many years of homelessness in Sacramento.
For 10 years, I was downtown. Used to love it because it was a choice I made. I didn't have no bills. I didn't have no overhead. I didn't have to pay no insurance. I had a tent. I had food. I had friends. And if society looks at me and says it's not right, I apologize to you, society. Sacramento, you know I don't mean no harm. But so what? I'm still gonna be me. That's what I mean. Chris gonna do him.
Thank you, Clayton.
Of course. My partner. No way to judge him. Sorry, you know, it's wrong because he's just out there, you know, taking up space. But he's not. He's not taking up space. He is out there because he chose to be out there. Our community is just like any other community. It's just the homeless. Our community stretches further than any other community I know. We go from California to New York. Any town you go to, there's homeless. That's still part of my community.
Chris LaForce has been caught in a web of his own making. It's comprised of alcoholism, homelessness, and endless stays at the jail for the past 20 years. He also has abused meth, which has all but destroyed his teeth.
I smoke it, and I eat it, and I shoot it up, and I snort it, and it all comes down to a little rock sitting on my tooth, kind of erodes it away, you know, and sucking on one of them rocks, it kind of destroys my teeth real bad and puts holes in my gums and stuff like that. And it really is terrible, you know. I'm gonna be 43 next month, and I really want to stop this highway to hell before I end up in hell. If you looked at all my mugshots, you would see how I progressed from being a kid, being a dope fiend, became a real bad drunk.
Emmett LaForce, on the surface, may seem like he's happy and funny and laughing and joking, but it is sad that he's been here so many times and that he feels as if we're somewhat of his friends or family. He's just unable to be rehabilitated here, and we're just kind of holding him in hopes that one day he'll learn, but in the 1,087 times that he says he's been here, he hasn't learned.
LaForce is currently housed with a friend from the streets. Clayton has also spent years combating homelessness and addiction.
I used to live right in front of the porno shop in a tent, right there, selling drugs and coming back and forth to jail for it. First, I used to sell marijuana. Then I went up to selling crack cocaine. And then I started selling crystal meth. And then, you know, I started doing the drug. And they had a saying, first the man takes the drug, then the drug takes the man. You know, don't be your best customer. Yeah, I was that. I was my best customer.
Did you ever sell to Chris?
No. He got too many issues for me to give him another issue. He's a partner, he's a friend.
While addiction is still a part of Clayton's life, he says homelessness is now in his past.
I get help and I pay my rent. I have a big brother who looks out for me, you know. About 3 years ago, I had a bad incident happen that made me have to get off the streets. I got stabbed 3 times. I got stabbed in the lung, in the throat, and in the jaw.
Clayton says he was walking through a part of town where the homeless congregate when a stranger approached him.
And he just stepped out from behind me, so, you know, just like another person walking down the street. He's just walking behind me. I didn't pay him no mind. And it was like I felt a pinch, then I felt a pull, and I was falling, and he hit me in the jaw, and I was able to fight back. And a lot of people were sitting there like, gee, we seen that you were fighting, looked like you were fighting for your life. I was, stupid, why didn't you help me? And that was it for me. I knew I can't keep doing this. We deal with people, so many different people, that A lot of times, you think this person might be coming to help you, and they're not. It happens. They prey on the homeless.
LaForce will soon be back on those same streets. Due to his current jail stay, he has 42 days of sobriety and will be released in another week.
I'm about to get my head shaved and get my mug shaved. I'm gonna feel like a new man.
As he has upon prior releases, LaForce holds out hope of visiting his mother.
Hey, you good sport, looking like almost a real human being, not part of the bushes.
He says he has only spoken to her a few times in the past 16 years, and that she lives about 100 miles away in Nevada.
It's gonna be a real big emotional cry right there to see my mom, and I really love her a lot, and hopefully she'll take me back in, which I'm sure she will. She'll help me out with just about anything she can, so I want to get out and see if my mom will get me a lawnmower so I can start mowing lawns again, feeling good about myself, not feeling like I'm a bum or nothing like that.
We call for luck.
Yep. I clean this up. Feels good. I feel like the new me. I want to get out. Maybe I'll just go get a lawnmower and try to be a different person. Not too bad, gentlemen. I kind of like it.
Chris LaForce is about to make a transition as well. One he has made 1,000 times before.
Once I start being a cleanly person, like God wants me to be, then it's going to change my life a little bit better.
The day has arrived for his release. Surveillance cameras capture LaForce in his change-out cell, and later, making his way off the grounds of the jail. LaForce says his goal is to reconnect with his mother, but 36 hours later, he was back in jail.
It's going to be home again. 36 whole hours.
You were gone 36 hours.
I think I made it that long.
What happened?
I got drunk and died again, you know.
So you were using too?
Yeah.
Christopher LaForce was brought back into custody last night for being drunk in public.
What number arrest is this now?
1,088. What the? Yeah.
You're proud of that?
I mean, when you get kind of retarded like me, you know, mentally ill a little bit, you know, and heck yeah, I'm proud of it. Nobody else has ever done it. I just want to stay in jail forever.
LaForce.
Yes.
Come to control. Roll everything up.
LaForce's latest violation will result in another 180 days in jail, a new chance to sober up, and perhaps someday to see his mother.